What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new big football and Liverpool news video. And in this video we will cover many different topics. The first and the biggest one is that the Premier League came out and said that it will support Liverpool if they want to do a trophy presentation and if it is safe to do so. Basically Liverpool are just 1 or 2 games away from winning the Premier League title, and if all players will be tested, then I think it's safe to do a trophy celebration on the pitch even without fans. Of course, a trophy celebration parade, a trophy parade on the streets of Liverpool, that will probably have to wait at least a few months. If not, we have to wait until next year to do it, which really sucks. But I think most Liverpool fans would have taken this scenario. The most important is for Liverpool to finally end their 30-year wait for a league title and win the title on the pitch. And also the Premier League clubs voted for resuming the training in stage 1 of Project Restart of the Premier League. So all the details of that coming in this video, and also what kind of restrictions will the Premier League face for the next whole year during this pandemic. All the details packed in this one video, so make sure to listen to it until the end. And if you enjoy these, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool and football news in these uncertain times. And the Premier League chief executive Richard Masters, who is in charge of Premier League issues, confirmed that he will support plans for a presentation of Liverpool lifting the actual Premier League title with those red ribbons on. I just cannot wait to witness that. And also, if you listen closely, you can probably hear the null and voiders, the rival fans, weeping and crying in the background. The people who wanted the season to be a null and void just to spite Liverpool fans and just to take away the joy from Liverpool fans of finally witnessing a title win. And this is what Richard Masters said, and I quote, "If it at all possible, yes, you would like to have a trophy presentation for Liverpool. You want to give those players and the whole staff at Liverpool the moment they worked so hard for. If that's what happens, yes, we would try and do it unless it wasn't possible because of safety concerns." But if, as I said, if you test every player and every manager and staff member for the virus, then I can't see a scenario where it's not safe. The Premier League should do the same what the Bundesliga is doing and just put everybody in a hotel one day before the game. So and you test them before putting them in the hotel, and if all the tests come back negative, then you can just isolate them in the hotel and just travel from the hotel to the match, and then it's safe. It's a safe environment for everyone. And Richard Masters also said that the Premier League should be prioritizing the matches, the games in hand that clubs have. For example, the Man City Arsenal game and Sheffield United's trip to Aston Villa. So to bring up all the clubs on the same number of games. This is what he said. It is a relatively normal occurrence for at this stage of the season there to be displaced matches that have to be played, but I think it is a good idea to prioritize games that have to be played first relatively early in the schedule. The Germans, the Bundesliga, are a couple of steps ahead of us, obviously, Masters continued, and we can learn from them and watch them and take confidence from their success. I think starting the league, watching it being played out, seeing the quality of football, observing the package from behind closed doors, how it was broadcast, was really helpful for the Premier League and our other European colleagues as well. It does add confidence that it can be achievable in this country, in England as well. We speak to our European counterparts regularly every week. We are really pleased to see the Bundesliga get back to a good playing start yesterday. The football looks good. I think we will take a different approach, not saying better approach, but slightly different approach to the behind closed doors product and that's one of the things we were able to talk to clubs today, the direction of travel. All in all, I thought it was good. The other thing is we didn't have in any of the games any fan issues, congregations or gatherings to speak of. It was a positive start to the Bundesliga. It will be a little bit of a concern that in Britain will the fans congregate around the stadium, especially if Liverpool are close to winning the title. Will Liverpool fans, all of them, stay at home? I really hope so, but we can't be 100% certain until we witness it happening or not. I hope not. I really hope there won't be any issues, but I have a slight concern about that. And the British government has warned the Premier League that it could face a full year of restrictions until this pandemic is over, and that's a little bit of a concern, a little bit worrying, but that's the kind of situation that we are in at the moment, so we can't really do much about it, but get used to it. And Richard Masters said that once we had a proper discussions with all the Premier League clubs about how much training is required to create the fitness levels before the clubs can start playing again, we are then in a position to be able to confirm when the season start is. The Premier League regular training starts today in all clubs, all 20 clubs, and I'm really excited about that. That is the first phase of many phases until we can again watch Premier League football, which we all love and we are all missing, I'm sure. So yesterday all 20 Premier League clubs agreed on protocols for small groups of players to train while maintaining social distancing that exists in, of course, wider society. But for the first time the players are able to pass to each other, but they are not like getting a close contact, so no tackles are allowed, no manhandling at corners, and I think they are training at in 4 or 5 person groups together, 4 or 5 people together in one group, and they are probably just passing the ball to each other and maintaining social distancing. And the Premier League medical advisor Mark Gillett said this: they have made it clear, the government, very clear, that the situation, the public health situation is not going to change over the next 6 to 12 months. We are going to be looking to make the same kind of cultural changes at training grounds and in footballers' behaviors, whether we have this conversation now or at any point this year. It is important that people understand that. And Gillett also said we strongly discourage tactical meetings on site so that social distancing is maintained at all times. They have 15 minutes in which to prepare themselves in terms of treatment prior to training. They can use the gym as long as they socially distance themselves from another athlete, and they clean the equipment after every use. What I gather from this is that we probably won't see fans in stadiums until 2021, which is really tough on the finances, especially for lower league clubs. How can lower league clubs survive this long, 6 to 12 months, without fans in the stadium, when the majority of the revenue in the lower leagues are match day revenue from ticket sales, from merchandising, from selling food, drinks in and around the stadium? How will the lower league clubs survive this? Because I'm sure the Liverpools, the Manchester Uniteds of the Premier League will survive this, but the lower league clubs, a large percentage of their income, of their revenue, comes from matchday revenue and matchday merchandise and all kinds of sales, and it will be very difficult for them financially, and that is a huge issue. And Steve Bruce actually gave a very interesting insight into how the Premier League footballers resume training. A player has a quarter of a pitch to work within, so social distancing is not a problem. We will train with 8 to 10 players at a time on 2 separate football pitches. Everything is in place in the safety aspect. I've got no issues. I can tell the supporters, the players and the staff are safe as we possibly can be. We all understand that this virus isn't going to go away just like that. It's going to hang around a bit. But I think with the protocols in place, we will do everything we possibly can to get up and running again. And the Premier League wants to continue and resume the season. Richard Masters, about the concerns around that, said there will come a point, maybe, when next season becomes difficult to schedule, but we are not at that point yet. And yes, the further the Premier League resuming delays, the more problems it will amount it will result in for planning next season. But I think we should first complete this season, and then we will see what happens with the next season. And I think what Liverpool should do is when the fans are allowed back in the stadium, we should just have maybe a Liverpool game, a Liverpool friendly game, where the Liverpool first team plays against the Liverpool legends of old, and at the end of the game the Liverpool first team, the current first team, gets to lift the Premier League title in front of the Liverpool fans, because of course the Liverpool players will lift the Premier League title when we mathematically become champions and when we win the title, hopefully in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the Premier League resuming. But I think there needs to be a celebration in front of the actual Liverpool fans. You could do that in this way, or you could either do it the way where maybe you have the title celebrations, the title presentations in the first home game, the first Anfield game, with fans allowed in the stadium. The Premier League is aiming to end the season at the end of July or at the beginning of August, and then start next season in August or September. Richard Masters has said this: the June return and July finish leaves time for a break for other competitions to be completed, and start the season towards the end of August or very early September. Obviously, what we want to do is ensure the season is completed in a way which preserves other competitions, but also preserves our ability to start and deliver 38 rounds next season in a proper calendar. Given we are trying to get the season away in a slightly truncated situation, we may look at some interesting scheduling options. Nothing we can confirm yet, but we have got to make it work for everybody. And what do you think about the Scottish Premier League cancelling the season and awarding Celtic the title and relegating Hearts, which seems a little bit harsh because Hearts were like 3 or 4 points behind the last place where no relegation occurs. So they were in last place by 3 or 4 points, and they had still like 9 games to play. I think Celtic deserves to win their 9th league title in a row, because they were like 15 points ahead of Rangers and only 9 games to go, and Rangers were in really bad form. Celtic were just continuously winning, so probably the gap would have been even bigger if the Scottish season continued. And of course, naturally, many Rangers fans and other rival fans said that the Celtic title is a tainted title, and Neil Lennon, the Celtic legend and Celtic manager, said this: tainted title, talking about the tainting title regards to Celtic's title, it suggests some sort of illegality, some kind of cheating going on. But we have done nothing wrong. And he actually has a very, very good point. And I think if Liverpool gets awarded the title, the same applies to Liverpool as well. Liverpool have done nothing wrong. Actually, Liverpool have been the best team ever in the Premier League, in my opinion, in terms of the amount of wins and the amount of points that Liverpool collected. I mean, Liverpool on points per game average would end up on a 107 points at the end of the season, and the Premier League record is 100 points. So just to say that this Liverpool team is absolutely remarkable. And the English media is reporting that Daniel Sturridge could move to the MLS. He became a free agent in January or February when he terminated his contract with Trabzonspor by mutual consent, and DC United, who of course Wayne Rooney used to play for, and Inter Miami, the new team in the MLS, which David Beckham is one of the founders of, they are both interested in signing Daniel Sturridge as a free agent, and Daniel Sturridge is particularly interested in joining a club in the United States. He's only 30 years old, but he has been quite injury prone the last few seasons. I feel a little bit sorry for him that injuries prevented him from probably achieving even more and staying at Liverpool for more years. But you also have to take it into account that Daniel Sturridge will finish a 4-month ban from all football-related activities in June after being found guilty of breaching betting rules. So this was the main reason why he terminated his contract. He couldn't play at Trabzonspor until June, and he couldn't even train with the team. This came after his original suspension of 6 weeks was found to be too lenient on appeal by the FA to an independent commission, which where his fine was also increased to £150,000. And Sturridge said that he's already training in the United States ahead of his potential move. I think firstly, Sturridge said, it is about going back to doing what I love, which is playing football. That's the most important thing. I love the game, I miss the game. I can't wait to get out there and help my team win games, score goals, get assists. That's my main focus. I'm training in America at the moment. I'm getting my body right, getting in good shape. I will be ready and raring to go when my football ban is up. I'm eagerly awaiting that. So I'm really excited about that and it being over with and getting on with it. Still, a Premier League club could take a chance on Daniel Sturridge, but I don't think his body can still handle the Premier League. I think he would be better suited to just play in the MLS, and it's a slower league, much less physically demanding. I think it would be suited for Daniel Sturridge, and I would love to see him light up the MLS with some fantastic goals, because I still think a fully fit Daniel Sturridge is a natural goal scorer, one of the most gifted strikers that played for Liverpool, and his goals to games ratio is absolutely fantastic. It's a shame that injuries ruined his body and he lost a little bit of his pace and power, but he still can on his day finish most of his chances off very well. So really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun making it. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.